we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-88-99789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
This is the Slate, presented by VIP Play.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
I should explain to you exactly what it is that I do.
This is like the luck of the Irish, only I'm not Irish.
Changing 500. I think I want my money back.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Cash rules everything around me. Green, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
Welcome in. It's the Slate, presented by VIP Play with John Reed. I'm William Pattison. We appreciate you listening along with us on this Friday evening from Knoxville, Tennessee, live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. Well, we had the NBA Finals last night. Game 1 was an absolute thriller, and we had plenty of action on last night's game. We'll dive into our about last night, our recap from the bets we took and the wagers we had. And then a little bit later on, we'll dive into the slate for this upcoming weekend. Super Regionals, the NBA Finals Game 2 on Sunday. Plenty to cover to get you ready for this weekend's action. And as always, we'll have our best bets for tonight and for the weekend as well. And then we'll wrap up with that. But I introduce my co-host, John Reed. John, how are you today?
Doing good, brother. If I was any better, they'd have to come arrest me. I'm ready to get to this weekend. I'm ready to make a little money. I'm ready to watch Tony V and the boys, Marcus Phillips getting the rock, a little Sugar Sean O'Malley in UFC. I believe it's 316. Oh, hell yeah. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Yeah.
That's some energy.
There you go.
Sean O'Malley, so UFC as well.
Yeah. Got a little sugar Sean parlay for the boys, courtesy of VIP Play under the specials tab. Go ahead and you can check it out. A little plus 660 parlay for the weekend. Make a little money on Saturday.
Okay.
He's one of the names I like watching. He's one of the names that can get me to the TV for UFC, and I've been waiting for this rematch, so I'm pumped. We got Saturday planned here at Fan Run. We got a watch party for Tennessee and Arkansas. We got we all of a sudden got a really interesting Game 2 in the NBA Finals. Got a jam-packed weekend of baseball and a softball championship tonight. It's a good time to have some action.
Well, let's get into last night's action. We'll talk about last night. We had Game 1 of the NBA Finals, and Tyrese Halliburton and the Indiana Pacers did it again. With the game in the balance, Halliburton takes it up the court, goes coast to coast, and fires up a shot on the right side and drills it with 0.3 seconds. The Pacers' first lead of the game came with just 0.3 seconds left in this one, as the Pacers, who were plus 400 yesterday, or it was around that. I can't remember specifically. I think it was around plus 400 to win the game last night. Went outright. And we'll dive into our best bets recap. I had 3 of them. Thunder minus 10. Well, okay, that's the only time you get to say that because I hit the other 2. But
I was going to do cha-ching.
Okay,
we need to get some sounds over here for a cha-ching.
Okay.
So
Thunder
sensitive.
minus. I'm not. I'm just saying that was a little harsh. Came off right off the bat. I want to talk about the loss before I get into how successful I was. But look, Thunder minus 10. The trends backed it up, especially in Game 1, a home team, a possession or more favorite. The trends really, really like that spot for Oklahoma City. And for a majority of the game, it looked like the good read. It looked like the better side. Thunder go up by 15 early in the fourth quarter. I'm starting to get comfortable. The under is looking good. Tyrese Halliburton hasn't had a lot of points. I was feeling good. I was feeling like I was going for a sweep. But then the Thunder do not capitalize on the turnovers. 24 turnovers last night for Indiana, only 11 points off turnovers for Oklahoma City. I thought that was really critical And also their defense in a couple of switching spots late in the fourth allowed for Pascal Siakam. Miles Turner hit a couple open ones. Obi Toppin became Klay Thompson last night from the perimeter. So the Thunder, as 10-point favorites, don't even win. But that was my lone loss of the night, as I had the under 230. Both teams played really well defensively in transition. I thought that was a big point of emphasis going in, and both teams followed suit with that. The total went about 9 points under 230 last night, so that was a good win. And then finally, I had Tyrese Halliburton under 26.5 points and assists, and he only ended with 20. So he might have stolen the show last night with the big-time shot and another clutch moment, but he did go under that 26.5 points and assists. So overall, a 2-1 night for me. And you just lied on air, John, by the way.
What did I lie about?
You didn't hit me with a cha-ching.
Well, because you were saying you wanted to get the losses out of the way, and then you got mad. Then I was waiting because I had something to say about the loss.
All right, here we go. We'll redo it.
All
Ready?
right. Yeah.
Thunder minus 10.
Now, you were saying, you were up 13, up 14, felt comfortable. I was going to say, little did you know that the Pacers had the Thunder right where they wanted them. They're like Seabiscuit. They just wait in the wings and then charge at the finish. Shout out to the Pacers.
And then the under 230.
Cha-ching!
And then Tyrese Halliburton under 26.5 points and assists.
Cha-ching!
There we go. John, what was your recap?
I would have given it to you. I got 2 ants and 1 cha-ching. Kind of frustrating because one of the ants, I feel like Pascal Siakam, my brother, please make a damn free throw in the fourth quarter. Like I watched him miss a couple clutch free throws. That would have put me over. His over was over 19.5. He finishes with 19 points. It's the second time that's happened to me in the last 2 rounds. I remember SGA in game 1 against Minnesota with 31 when the over-under was 31.5. So hopefully if you're someone following me, you're sprinkling these like on an alt line and going a couple points down, because last night was tough. Chet Holmgren, I got to say, I felt like I had the right side most of the day, and then they tell me that Isaiah Hartenstein's been benched, and I felt like I had the right side even more so. But that was a weird game from Chet Holmgren.
Yeah, disappointing.
Weird game plan, I thought, for Dagonauts, weird rotations, him only playing 23 minutes, even though, he was kind of struggling from the field. I just thought he deserved more minutes. I thought he was still kind of a matchup issue and one of the top players in the league. I was surprised that he just, like I said, basically benched for over half of the game. That was surprising. That one was easy to swallow, though, as it wasn't even close. Never even came close to flirting with that. The only, my lone cha-ching on the night, Andrew Nembhard, picking up that role as a shot creator for others and finished with 6 assists. Feel like he had 3 or 4 other wide open opportunities where guys were bricking threes back when the Pacers weren't hitting shots. But we still get over there. We get to 6, the over-under at 4.5. And I feel like that'll be a number to watch as the series goes on, because I do think Nembhard is going to have to pick up some of the slack, because I do think they're going to have Halliburton kind of locked up this series.
Yeah, Andrew Nembhard was really big in the final moments. His size up on SGA and the shot with about 2 minutes remaining in the game was a really, really cool moment. And again, guys like Aaron Nesmith, Andrew Nembhard, Obi Toppin, Miles Turner, their collectiveness last night was really big in the sense of they were able to hit a couple of timely shots, keep the Pacers in this thing. 7 players last night with 9+ points for Indiana, really showing the balance, as obviously Tyrese Halliburton, the big star, the big name, the guy that hit the clutch shot, but there was a lot of other guys that led up to that point, and Andrew Nembhard was a big reason for that. I thought that he would have a little bit of a busier night defending Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but he was able to get involved offensively, which was really impactful for them as well. And Halliburton, as big as that shot was last night, and that's the big storyline, the most impressive part to that fourth quarter to me was that in those final 5-6 minutes, Halliburton really wasn't in control of the game. He really wasn't holding on to the ball. He wasn't bringing it up. He wasn't the primary ball handler. It was Andrew Nembhard. And I think Halliburton was like, all right, Nembhard's kind of got some momentum here. Let's kind of let him do his thing. And then Halliburton, instead of trying to force his way in and force up shots, he's kicking it out to a Miles Turner for a three, kicking it out to Obi Toppin. He's trusting in his other teammates. And while I don't think that Tyrese Halliburton is a superstar, quote unquote, I think he is a star and shows superstar traits of playmaking where he trusts in his guys, even in the critical moments of last night's game. Kicking it out to Toppin, kicking it out to Turner, letting Andrew Nembhard size up Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with 2 minutes left in a two-possession game in Game 1 of the NBA Finals. That takes a lot of self-awareness, and that takes a really good teammate to do that. So I was really impressed with Halliburton doing that last night.
This, William, I chalk under the whole, the victors get to write the narrative. When you win, certain things that I think you'd be criticized for become compliments, because had they lost by 5 or 6 points, I think a lot of people would have been on Halliburton for maybe shying away from the moment and letting Nembhard be that creator. But Miles Turner's banking in threes, Siakam's hitting threes, Nembhard's hitting double crossover step backs, and all of a sudden he looks like, yeah, I can just come in and mop up at the finish. But look, when you win, you get to enjoy those things. You get to say, hey, I don't need to be the one in charge. That I can sit back and pick my places and play good team basketball. You know, we talked about on here last night a couple things, and circled the Pacers at plus 500, feeling like that was a good value. I think that's vindicated right now. Of course, after stealing Game 1, that's down to, I believe, plus 235 for a series price. You could still get double the old money, but it's now officially a series. And also just kind of wondered about the depth of the Pacers, and I feel like the depth of the Pacers outshined the depth of the Thunder. At times it felt like the moment was too big, really top to bottom, outside of everybody besides Gilgeous-Alexander. Dort hit his 5 threes, so you can't be too mad at him because he was shooting 30% in the playoffs. I said if I'm Rick Carlisle, I'm letting Lou Dort shoot threes. Maybe something to watch for, because I think the Pacers are going to keep letting him do that and prove it. He had open threes. He hit them, 5 of them, which maybe is a red flag if I'm a Thunder fan thinking, I don't know if I can count on Lou Dort to shoot over 50% from 3, and we still lost that game. But, the moment was too big for Chet. Jalen Williams kind of shrunk in the fourth quarter. And when you look at the
fourth
bench,
quarter, he was terrible. He was terrible through 3 quarters. He was 3 of 12 going into the fourth.
Yeah, fair enough. It just felt like he found the ball in his hands at the end of the game and was kind of doing the whole double clutch. I'm going to pass. Okay, I'm going to shoot. And, yeah, fair point. Just bad for the entire night. So it felt like it was SGA and the home crowd trying to go out with some misfits that I know aren't misfits, but felt like they weren't playing up to their capabilities. Meanwhile, it was the role players from the Pacers who were stars. If Halliburton has a good game, they might, win that one, without the dramatics. If Halliburton plays well, he was playing a pretty bad game, and Siakam never could quite assert himself. He had a good game, don't get me wrong, 19 and 10. He was stepping up and playing defense and rebounding, but it was the other guys I felt like, Obi Toppin, Miles Turner, Nembhard, Nesmith. Those guys stepped up and outplayed Oklahoma City's guys. And I still look at that price, that series price at plus 235, and it still feels appealing to me right now. I'm not ready to go all in and say the Pacers are winning the series, but it feels like a 6-game series at the very least, maybe a 7-game series, and, I'll take the Pacers to not be afraid to play in Oklahoma City in a big game, and to also, maybe not turn the ball over as many times as they did in the first half.
When we originally, were setting up for this matchup, I said Thunder in 6. I actually took 4-2, the correct series price at 4-2, because I think that I thought that Indiana would win Game 2, but they ended up winning Game 1. I think the Thunder will get comfortable in Game 2 and even this thing up heading back to Indiana. But I think there is some silver lining last night from the Thunder, even though it was a very disappointing loss, and considering everything that went right in the first half, it's crazy that they found a way to lose this thing in the final 2 minutes. But a couple of different things here. Thunder forced a lot of turnovers, 24 turnovers for the Pacers last night. Now, they were much cleaner in the second half with 5 compared to 19 in the first. But if Oklahoma City is able to capitalize on those points off turnovers, this is a completely different game. Like you mentioned, okay, if Halliburton's a little bit better, this might not have even been that close. But there are a lot of different variables here. If the Thunder get more than 11 points off 24 turnovers, this thing really wouldn't have been close because they ate up Minnesota in that last series with points off turnovers. And I'm not saying that Minnesota is the same type of team as Indiana, but if a team as good as the Thunder have been defensively and as good as they've been offensively all season gets 24 turnovers off a team, you would expect more than 11 points. The second thing, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had 38 points last night and looked very, very comfortable. You talk about a playoff riser. I thought Shai Gilgeous-Alexander looked really comfortable in his first NBA Finals game. And I was not a fan of Andrew Nembhard defending him. I would have gone Aaron Nesmith. The argument to that could be, well, Nesmith held Jalen Williams to 6 of 19. But I felt like SGA kind of had his way with Nembhard, particularly in the first half. Now, there was a little bit of a tougher couple sequences in the second half, but I felt like SGA was pretty comfortable. And I don't think there's necessarily an answer there yet.
I thought Nembhard did a good job defending SGA. I had a different read on that.
First half, though, I disagree.
Sure, the first half, that's fine. But, like, I think, I think the turnovers, the defense, those things, those are the adjustments that I think we should have been looking at with Rick Carlisle. Like, we talked about how good of a coach he is, and I think he outcoached Daigneault. You could really say from the get-go where Daigneault is kind of molding to what Indiana was doing by, changing his starting lineup. They're 80-18, and then, an hour before the game, they're like, hey, actually, we're going to do something completely different here. If I'm the Pacers, I would have looked at that and said, hey, they're doing this for us. They're trying to adjust to what we're going to do. We're in control in this series. Now, look, to be fair to Daigneault, the switch did work out. They got off to a fast start, and they got off to a really good start defensively, like you said, forcing all those turnovers, getting 12 steals in the first half. But I look at the second half, and I look at, SGA, and it's not a huge dip, but at one point he was 10 of 20 in the game. He finished 14 of 30. And look, 4 out of 10 is not terrible numbers, but, that's 40%. There was some adjustments there in the second half. And then in the fourth quarter, SGA couldn't come through with the kill shot at any point. There was plenty of times up 15, up 10, where, even up 1, with their last possession, their last real possession, not the attempted tip-in, of course, where he could have, got to the rim, got to the free throw line instead, settling for a jumper and missed it and gave the Pacers an opportunity to steal it. So I know his numbers look good at 38, but I thought Nembhard held his own, just like he did with Brunson. Of course, if you look at the stats, Brunson was scoring a bunch of points too, but I thought they looked uncomfortable. And I thought the Pacers did a good job of keeping SGA off the free throw line for most of the game. He ends up with, 8 attempts? And at one point, I believe at halftime, he only had 1 attempt, or at least 1 make. So I thought they did a good job of playing defense without fouling. And Nembhard was kind of dealing with SGA's kind of herky-jerky moves, kind of his unorthodox moves. I thought that the matchup with Brunson maybe would have trained him for that. And I thought he looked up to the task. Now, again, look, he scored 38 points. He's an MVP. Good offense in the NBA is always going to beat good defense. That's just the way it is. But like you said, him taking that challenge and at least not getting absolutely torched allowed them to kind of hone in on all the other guys. It almost felt like you let SGA be a dominant scorer, but just kind of try to stop Chet, try to stop Jalen Williams, try to do other things there with the other guys, the other wing players. And maybe that would be a recipe.
The other big thing was the offensive glass for Oklahoma City. They got absolutely annihilated on that end, and really rebounding in particular was an issue, which is why I was surprised that Hartenstein did not start this game. And I thought in the fourth quarter, those first 6 minutes, Hartenstein played really well. I thought he was valuable in a couple of putbacks. He was good on the glass. And throughout the night, the moments where Hartenstein was not in, Oklahoma City allowed for a lot of tip around 50-50 balls, and a lot of them they won, but there was still, those 50-50 balls then kind of reset your offense. If you got a 7-footer in Hartenstein down there, that's an easy rebound, putback, layup, whatever it may be. I was not a fan of the Cason Wallace edition. He was a minus 14 last night, the plus-minus the worst of any Oklahoma City Thunder player. I did not like that addition. Jay Mitchell entered the game in the first quarter. That was a little concerning as well. I gave credit to the Pacers and Rick Carlisle for having the better coach in this series. I feel like Dangenholt was a little over his skis at times last night and tried to do a little bit too much. I think those are two examples of that. I feel like if they're able to be better on the glass, play Hartenstein in Game 2, this thing might be a little bit different than we saw it unravel last night.
I mentioned, in the series preview with the number, I said, hey, I'm not ready to buy this Thunder team as just an all-time great team or also invincible. I said I remembered the Denver Nuggets Game 1 and Game 7-game series, and it felt like last night was eerily similar to the Game 1 that Denver stole against Oklahoma City. Of course, Oklahoma City still went on and won that series, but it was a 7-game battle, and I kind of think we're headed for another long series there if Oklahoma City is going to win the championship.
Very well could be. When we come back, we'll do our slate for tonight and the weekend as we got Super Regionals and the NBA Finals coming up. Stay right here. It's the Slate presented by VIP Play.
105.7 FM, 1340 AM. Online at fanrunradio.com and streaming on the free Fan Run Radio app. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Hey Knoxville, Surfside iced tea and vodka made with real brewed tea is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, zero carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
Where are the best ribs in the Volunteer State? Rickard Ridge. Who has the best barbecue catering packages in East Tennessee? Rickard Ridge. And where's the most beautiful setting to enjoy a meal with family and friends? Rickard Ridge. Rickard Ridge Barbecue. Just a quick ride up I-75, take exit 134, hang a right, and Rickard Ridge is on your left, just inside Cove Lake State Park.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mike Costa at Knoxville Smiles. Here at Knoxville Smiles, we're all about making it easier for you to see the dentist. That's why we're now open until 7 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. If going to the dentist in the morning or during normal business hours doesn't fit your busy schedule, come see us a little later. Call 865-539-1776 to schedule your appointment, or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Ready to launch your career? Axel Logistics is a leading third-party logistics company where excellence is an energy. With an award-winning culture, Axel proves that positive outcomes come from a positive environment and a work hard, play hard mentality. At Axel, the drive for success is infectious. And with an uncapped commission structure, hard work isn't just noticed, it's rewarded. For those with big goals and even bigger dreams, Axel Logistics is the place to start your career.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game. Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-8899-789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
Miss any of your favorite Fan Run show? Listen to the podcast on our free Fan Run Radio app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
All right, back here on the Slate, presented by VIP Play. John Reed, William Pattison joining you. We appreciate you listening along with us, whether it be on the free Fan Run Radio app, 105.7 FM or 1340 AM right here in Knoxville, Tennessee on the local dial, or on the X/YouTube live stream. However you're listening or watching, we do appreciate your time. Now time to dive into the slate, but before we do that, let me tell you a little bit more about VIP Play. Go claim your VIP Play welcome bonus when you make your first bet of $5 or more. You'll get $100 instantly in bonus bets by using code FANRUN. That's FANRUN in all caps to claim those bonus bets. And new and more convenient deposit and withdrawal methods are coming soon. And the next VIP Play app update will continue to upgrade features to make the betting experience on VIP Play a great one. Gambling problem, call 1-800-889-9789. You must be 21 years or older and located in Tennessee to bet. We'll begin with the Super Regionals, as we got a ton of action this weekend, John. The Volunteers headed down to Fayetteville to take on the Razorbacks. That game is Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. Marcus Phillips getting the ball. When we look at the game one and series, what are you looking for from the Volunteers on VIP Play? Tennessee plus 700 to win the College World Series, the third best odds. We talked about that earlier in the week. Going up against Arkansas, the favorite to win the College World Series. It feels like the winner of this one is probably going to be in good position to play in the championship game. What do you think?
I don't know if they already had it priced in and everyone kind of knew that Marcus Phillips was going to go game one, but I'm a little surprised that the game price has not really changed at all. Tennessee plus 143, Arkansas minus 190 on the money line for game one. An over-under of 11.5, and a run line, of course, of plus 1.5, with Tennessee being the underdog. I thought maybe that would change a little bit with the Marcus Phillips news because he's not Liam Doyle, but like I said, maybe they already had it worked in the market anyways, assuming he would be the guy. I like the decision by Tony Vitello. Marcus Phillips did his job last time Tennessee went to Fayetteville. He won his game one. He put Tennessee in position to win a series if Liam Doyle came out and did what Liam Doyle was supposed to do. Liam Doyle didn't hold up his end of the bargain. I expect a much better Liam Doyle this weekend. So if Marcus Phillips can win game one tomorrow, we'll be at Barley's 5 o'clock. I think that gives Tennessee the best position to win game two, or at least save their bullpen, get their arms fresh for an all-arms-on-deck type of game three situation. I like the way Vitello staggered this. The relationship there with Stone Lawless for Marcus Phillips. Doyle's relationship with Cannon Peebles, who suspended game one. I think it's I don't want to say no-brainer, but I think it's an obvious decision in Vitello going with the obvious decision. You give Liam Doyle another day to rest as well on top of it after him going twice in the Knoxville Regional. I agree with what you said. That's kind of been the thinking. Hey, whoever wins this series is going to be the favorite in Omaha. Feels that way. This feels like these are the two most talented teams in the country, loaded with MLB prospects, loaded with history, loaded with wins, loaded with animosity towards each other. This could be a College World Series championship series. Instead, it's a super regional, and Tennessee's having to go on the road, where Arkansas hasn't won a home regional in a long time. A long time. But also on the flip side, Tony Vitello hasn't won a series against Dave Van Horn in a long time. And by a long time, I mean ever.
How much stock do you put into that in a series like this where this team has played Arkansas before, played them less than a month ago, and you won a game 1 with Marcus Phillips on the mound. Game 2, you got shelled, but that was a little bit of a different version of Doyle than you had really seen throughout the season. Game 3 kind of went haywire in the third inning after the balk, and then Arkansas explodes for 5 runs. But this is a different Tennessee team than the one that matched up with them on May 16th.
Well, William, it kind of ties into a couple things that we've talked about this week and on this episode already. The first one is, I think the winner gets to decide what the narrative is, right? Like, whoever wins this series, if Tennessee goes down there, it'll be like, well, that's championship medal. That's a team that knows how to win big games. Arkansas, they only know how to choke. If Arkansas wins, it turns into, well, they're at home. Dave Van Horn owns Tony Vitello. It's one of those things that we're going to attribute to depending on what happens. On the flip side, I think you saw it a little bit last night. What I've been talking about this week on Talk Sports and on our podcasts around here. Not every home field advantage is a home field advantage. I think you saw last night a fan base in Oklahoma City that the moment it got tight, they looked around and thought, well, this feels a lot like when LeBron came in here in Game 2 of the finals in 2012 and stole that series away. We are kind of young. We have never won the big one. You kind of got that nervous energy as the Pacers just keep coming and coming and coming. You saw it with the Knicks. You saw it with the Cavs. And, I think that's on alert this weekend. If you're looking for a reason to back Tennessee, it would be because of championship experience versus choke artists. Because the teams are pretty even. And Arkansas's offense is much better than in the years past. Their pitching is just neck and neck with Tennessee's. Maybe you could say they don't have Liam Doyle, and that's your ultimate, tiebreaker to pick Tennessee, and that's a fine reason. I would be on board with that. But if you're going to buy into Tennessee, you're buying into swagger, championship experience, and on the lack of champion experience for Arkansas, I think those are the three main things. Having guys that have done it before, while Arkansas has had a coach that's never done it and never, or at least in a long time, have never, broken through and won a big home super regional.
Well, the big thing for me with Tennessee is that I think this is a group that has gained a lot of momentum ever since traveling to Hoover for the SEC tournament. You've now seen a team that goes and plays Alabama, puts up 15 runs, and hits 20-something times. That was a really big change in momentum. And then you've got the matchup against Texas. Texas won the SEC by 2 games. And you've got a group that I think is now playing their best baseball at the right time. And what you did this past weekend, you got on schedule. You had really strong performances from guys in your bullpen, whether it was an A.J. Russell, a Braden Krenzel, a Tanner Franklin. Tennessee, I think, has gained a lot of momentum, and this is why I think that this is going to be a totally different series than what we watched about a month ago.
Okay, let me ask you then, what do you attribute that to? What do you attribute Tennessee playing better to?
I just think it's a rhythm thing. Like, baseball is one of those things where, like, it just kind of clicks at the right time. And Tennessee last year in the postseason, like, Tennessee has just been a good postseason team. That's why 4 out of the last 5 years made it to Omaha.
So you buy into Tennessee having the championship medal and being able to kind of flip a switch and rise to the occasion.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I feel like that's going to be a big thing this weekend. Arkansas has continued to struggle with that.
I don't think the Dave Van Horn record against Tony carries as much weight, in my opinion. Now, maybe that's because I'm a Tennessee supporter wanting to see Tennessee win this series. But, I just don't think it's always been necessarily a fair fight. It's been when Tennessee has been floundering. They've yet to really beat Tennessee at Tennessee's best.
Sure.
And you could maybe say in 2021 Tennessee was playing really good baseball. They were top 4 in the country, and you'd be right. But that was a different level, maybe a full standard deviation to the left in terms of the talent on Tennessee's roster, the championship pedigree, Tony Vitello's managing skills, and just, a belief in themselves. And, Arkansas came into Knoxville and won a 3-game series by 1 total run. I don't know how much that matters in 2025. Like I said, I think Tennessee's leveled up quite a bit. I think when Arkansas won in Fayetteville this weekend, or this season, a couple weekends earlier, I think that was Tennessee still kind of lacking confidence. Like you're talking about after the Knoxville Regional and the SEC tournament, I don't think that's the same Tennessee team anymore. I think the team has found some confidence. And if you actually want to look to tangible on-the-field stuff, I think you've seen Brandon Arvison go to a different level. I think you've seen A.J. Russell do a couple different things better. I think you saw him control the game in the SEC tournament much better. And also I think you saw him kind of maybe get over a little bit of fear. And I don't mean that to judge A.J. I think Tennessee's been very cautious with him, maybe in an annoying fashion that he doesn't even want to see happen. But they finally let him go twice in a weekend. This past weekend in the regional. Like he pitched on Saturday and turned around and pitched on Monday. They had been really, really cautious with him, saying, hey, you get 2 innings a week, basically. Go out and have fun. Good luck. Now maybe that opens up him to be the bridge instead of Nate Snead in game 1. If Marcus Phillips can go 6 innings, now maybe A.J. Russell comes in and gives you 2 1/3 or 3 innings and gets you to the finish line. And then maybe that opens him up to pitch in a game 3, winner-take-all game, whereas in the past, that wouldn't have been the case. You've seen some certain pitchers get to pitch more. Arvidsson, Russell. You're seeing other pitchers pitch less. Krenzel, Coons. Those were your Sunday Game 3 guys, and now both of them are kind of out of the.
I think Coons is
sure. Yeah, I mean, like
fizzled out.
I think the fact you didn't see him at all in the Knoxville Regional kind of tells you that. Like, and quite frankly, look. Again, no offense if he's listening, but I feel like he was a big part of the reason you had struggles winning 3-game series this year. I think the Sunday setup was a mess, and I think they tried to be patient. I think they tried to get him to come along, and it just didn't necessarily click. So, personally, I think Tennessee's a different team if they do have to go to a winner-take-all game in Monday. I think you saw it against Wake Forest. They had a better plan, and they had some reliable guys, and they were able to get it done.
The Sunday thing is, there were a couple different storylines throughout the year. Infielding, the lack of keeping the ball in play and not having to go yard to score. Sunday pitching was a big reason for that too. And I think Coons was just a little bit over his skis, 2-4 on the season, not very strong. And the Knoxville Regional kind of told me everything about what his future is, at least for this season. Just not a guy that you can really go to at this point. But now that you're in a 3-game situation this weekend, I like Phillips going Saturday. Gives Doyle a full, or at least an extra day of rest. And Phillips had success in a Game 1 situation already against Arkansas. But now you get a better version of Liam Doyle in Game 2. And if things go well in Games 1 and 2 in terms of the pitching schedule, you can have a lot of guys that could possibly go on Monday. So I think it was a good call from Tony. I like the decision there. That's what I proposed yesterday on overtime. That's what I would have done.
Well, really, it comes down to whether or not Liam Doyle can be Liam Doyle.
And do you think he will? Because I think he's had back-to-back strong performances now. Miami, Ohio, I get's not a very good team. But Wake Forest, that was a clutch moment. Comes in a couple of days after throwing 104 pitches and closes the game.
I think he was struggling with tipping his pitches over the against Arkansas and even against Miami a little bit. And I don't know if Arkansas kind of picked up something from last year. Of course, getting to see him at Ole Miss because they knocked him around against last year. With Ole Miss as well. So I think Doyle was kind of making a couple mistakes with his procedure in terms of getting ready and hiding the ball and stuff. You saw halfway in the Miami game he started turning around and putting the ball in his glove. You saw him kind of put his back to the batters. And then all of a sudden the fastball's working again and people are off balance. I think there's some procedural stuff he was struggling with. That's what I'm telling myself, because I do think you saw a completely different guy the back half of that Miami game, and also in his 7 batters of Wake Forest. He was all of a sudden had guys off balance again and looked untouchable. I expect that to be more of the case when he pitches game 2. Not saying he's going to be untouchable, not saying he's going to go out and shut down the Arkansas lineup, but if he can give you 6 to 7 innings and keep it at 3 or 4 and give you a chance to win, that's a big deal. And that's kind of the expectation. Now, the question is he pitching to punch a ticket to Omaha, or is he, pitching to save the season?
Yeah.
Personally, I think Doyle will be fine either way. With this psycho makeup, I don't know. Maybe he needs his back against the wall, but I don't know. He looked pretty damn good, and like he was a dog, wanting a bone. He was a lion with a piece of meat in front of him, against Wake Forest, where he could see that super regional ticket, and he went out and again was untouchable against Wake Forest. So maybe he needs to be pitching for a trip to Omaha on the line. I don't know, but I have more confidence in him. You did talk about Marcus Phillips, and I think he did enough to win game 1, but I don't want to state it as if he shut down Arkansas. This Arkansas lineup's really good. His line again was good enough. 4 1/3, gave up 3 runs. Didn't make it out of the 5th, but that's okay because you were able to piece it together enough. And Dylan Lloyd came in, faced a batter, got him out. A.J. Russell was really good against Arkansas the first time down there as well. He pitched 2 clean innings, took care of business, and then Tanner Franklin and Nate Snead were able to do enough, and that worries me because Snead almost blew that game. Snead was very, very bad against Arkansas, and I do wonder if Vitello trusts him.
Wasn't good against Wake Forest either.
No, he wasn't, and that's the last time we saw him. Again, from a Tennessee fan, Tennessee backer, supporter, if you're trying to get in on this with the plus 143 or to take them to win the series and go to Omaha, I don't know how you would feel good with Nate Snead coming in with anything, less than a 4 or 5 run lead. So, I wonder if that's in the back of his mind, and maybe A.J. Russell or Arvidsson's kind of a 2 or 3 inning guy at the end of games. I don't know. But Tennessee's bullpen is going to be the difference in this series, I believe, one way or the other.
Tennessee and Arkansas tomorrow at 5 p.m. on the money line, courtesy of VIP Play. The Volunteers at plus 143, Arkansas at minus 190, run line plus 1.5. You can get that at minus 132 odds for Tennessee. For Arkansas at minus 1.5, plus 102. The total runs set at 11.5. John, any action you like on tomorrow's game?
I think, look, I think.
Or for the series.
Well, the series, I'm trying to get my guys up over at VIP Play to get the series price up. You can get it on other books right now. Tennessee plus 114-ish. I think if you're going to back Tennessee, you might as well take plus 140 in the first game. And if you think they're good enough to win the series, you can capitalize on having a little bit extra juice, because realistically, it's going to be tough to win 2 games in a row, on facing elimination on Sunday and Monday. So I would take and have a little bit extra juice, and then, you would have a chance to buy back if you lose your first bet. The odds to advance would go up probably like 250 or 300. You could kind of maybe sprinkle it back if you do think they're going to win 2 in a row after going down 0-1. But yeah, give me Tennessee in game 1 because I do think Tony Vitello is Nick Saban. Tennessee baseball is the Alabama football of college baseball. I've been saying that for 3 years. And think about all the times during the Saban's prime that they messed around and gave you plus money on Alabama. Oh, yeah, Georgia's going to beat them at Georgia, black uniform, jersey, funeral. That was one of the only games Nick Saban was an underdog. Came out, smacked them down. I think this program with Tennessee baseball deserves the benefit of the doubt. I think they are just as good as Arkansas. I think they've been there in front of that crowd. They don't seem like the type that's going to buckle under the crowd. They seem like they're going to play better with that crowd. So, yeah, plus 143 feels like good value to me.
I just remember earlier in the week we were kind of going through, would you take game one or would you rather wait and take the series price at a little bit of a better odds in game two in the event that Tennessee loses in game one? That's kind of, not in a way line shopping, but just getting better value because Tennessee obviously will be a heavier underdog if they are to lose game one. So it's kind of, in a sense, backing if they win. If you think Tennessee wins the series, you might as well take them at a little bit of a better number at plus 143 for game one.
Yeah, that's where my logic comes from, is like you're getting a little bit extra money because if you think they're going to win the series, would you rather trust Marcus Phillips or the Monday game 3 trio or quartet?
Really,
I think you would trust Tennessee's offensive Marcus Phillips in game one. So logically, I think the plus 140 is appealing to me.
Some good analysis there. Make sure to come watch the game with us tomorrow at Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria. 5 p.m. first pitch for the Volunteers as they open up the Fayetteville Super Regional. Real quick, let me tell you about the VIP Play Club Sweepstakes. Every bet you make on VIP Play gets you entries into the VIP Players Club Sweepstakes. You'll earn 1 entry per bet, 1 entry per dollar bet, and 10 times your entries on parlays and same-game parlays. Initial contest ends June 30th. Subsequent contest will be monthly, so make sure you get in on the VIP Players Club Sweepstakes and get ready for tomorrow's action between Tennessee and Arkansas. When we come back, best bets of the night and for the weekend. Stay right here. It's the Slate, presented by VIP Play.
Can't get enough Fan Run Radio? Download the free Fan Run app and take the best Tennessee sports conversations with you wherever you go.
It's back. You asked for it and you got it. All You Can Eat Wednesdays is back with your Knoxville Smokies. The most delicious Wednesday dinner. All you can eat pulled pork, hot dogs, Bush's baked beans, Uncle Ray's potato chips, popcorn, Pepsi products, and more. Is anyone else getting hungry? But we aren't finished yet. This week we've also got Thirsty Thursday, Princess Night and fireworks on Friday, 90s Night and the Toy Story game, and fireworks on Saturday. And our Sunday day game is a huge mascot party. Get your tickets now at smokiesbaseball.com.
Are you tired of trying to squeeze your dental appointments in on your lunch break or before you go to work? Here at Knoxville Smiles, we're all about making going to the dentist easier. That's why we're now open until 7 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. To take advantage of our new evening hours, make your appointment now at knoxvillesmiles.com or just call us at 865-539-1776. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
We make it easy to save money. Get access to thousands of discounts on shopping, dining, and travel with the C&B Plus Perks account. It's a powerful new way to save money with roadside assistance, cell phone protection, identity theft protection, and credit monitoring. Banking at C&B has its perks. Call or stop by a branch for more details.
Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
Member FDIC.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game. Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
For the fans, by the fans, this is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
All right, back here on the Slate, presented by VIP Play. We appreciate you listening along with us. Now time for our best bets of the night / the weekend, a Friday edition of the Slate. So we get to dabble in a couple of different games. And Sunday is game 2 of the NBA Finals. And, John, I don't know if you've looked at the spread for this one yet. Thunder minus 11 in game 2. And I'm a sicko, but I'm taking it. I'm taking Thunder minus 11 here. I think this is a huge bounce-back spot for them at home. You're going to see a couple of tweaks, a couple of different matchups in game 2 where I don't think we'll see as much Case and Wallace this time around. Surely will not start this game. They'll get back to Isaiah Hartenstein. They'll have a better stance on the glass. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had 38 points. I know a lot of people are propping up Nembhard, but I really thought that SGA kind of had his way. And if Chet Holmgren is better than 6 points and Jalen Williams is better than 6 of 19, and the Thunder continue to turn the Pacers over and this time capitalize on those points off turnovers, this is a completely different game. Both these teams are unfamiliar to the NBA Finals scene. And while the Thunder were the much better team for about 43 minutes of this one, they collapsed because this is what the Pacers do. They come back and do this clutch moment thing like they've done all season long. In this game, however, it's a little bit of straightening. I'm going to call it some straightening. The Thunder get some straightening on Sunday and take game 2 emphatically. I'm taking the minus 11, my current best bet. We'll put the card out this weekend with the full stuff. But my current best bet, Thunder minus 11. I'm still riding them.
Yeah, I got no issue with that. I think this is obviously a bigger game for the Thunder than it is the Pacers. But me personally, I just believe in this Pacers team, and I believe that, they mostly show up even after stealing game 1. They could have easily taken a game off against the Cavs. They didn't. They could have easily, not showed up after stealing a game from the Knicks. They didn't. They jumped out to 2-0 leads in all 3 of their series so far. So I have no reason to think that they're just going to get blown out. Will not be betting the Pacers, but I do think, I'm going to hang around the Andrew Nembhard assist, and actually I like a couple of the role players. Tell me what you think about these, William.
Okay.
T.J. McConnell over 6.5 points. Obi Toppin over 9.5 points. Obi Toppin has been playing really good offensively. But if you do think it's going to be a blowout, that means you'll have a couple more bench minutes for those guys. And I do think that they can get to their point total. As well as it seemed like McConnell, they were kind of mixing some stuff up and letting him and Halliburton play together last night, which allows some more opportunities to for him to have maybe not the lead guard guarding him.
Toppin, 9.5, you said?
Toppin, 9.5.
I feel like they're not going to give Toppin the same amount of space in this one. I talk about some of those adjustments, and obviously Toppin's not a guy that's going to go 5 of 8 from 3 every night, but I feel like they'll give him a little bit more respect and maybe –
See, I think that's a good thing for Toppin. I think when you close out on Toppin, he's one of the more athletic bigs that can get to the rim. And
But a lot of his 3-point shots last night were just open shots. They were just leaving him. So if you give him a little bit of a closeout, not fully closing out on him like he's a Klay Thompson, but just a little bit of a closeout, that's going to take him away from shooting that 3. And if you have Isaiah Hartenstein and those guys down low, dribbling into traffic is a bad idea against this Thunder team. Just ask Benedict Mathurin a couple times last night.
Okay, hold on. Now, Obi Toppin, one of the best jumpers in the league in turn. He's not Benedict Mathurin.
Do you not see Benedict Matherin's block on Jalen Williams last night? Rose up and
that's fun.
I'm not saying they're the same type of guy, John, but I'm just saying
like Toppin's also a couple inches taller as well.
I'm just saying dribbling into traffic. I haven't seen Obi Toppin turn into Allen Iverson's handle.
No, that's fun. I also think that just his athleticism. I think last night maybe tricked you into thinking he just needed to shoot threes. But I mean,
I never said that.
He scored 18 against the Knicks, only
I
hitting
never
2 threes.
I never said that.
Okay, well, put Obi Toppin down now as a best bet.
Okay.
Out of spite.
All right.
I'll teach you a lesson.
All right.
My best bets, I actually got one for tonight. Give me Brittany Griner. Give me Brittany Griner over 14.5 points. The Atlanta Dream taking on the Connecticut Sun. The Connecticut Sun
Gee.
suck. Tina Charles is old. She can still get out there and get buckets. She cannot play defense. Brittany Griner had missed some time with an injury. Came back last Friday. The Dream haven't played since last Friday. Struggled a little bit. Only I believe only scored. Let me see if I got this here right. Only scored 2 points. Was 1 of 7 from the field. They've had a whole week off. Her rush should be off. I think she'll come out. They'll make an effort to get her the ball. I think she gets to 15 points. Give me Brittany Griner. And then I talked about it. Go to the specials tab on VIP Play. Look for MMA. Give me Sugar Sean O'Malley to win, and give me Chaos Williams by knockout / TKO. Chaos Williams fighting Gustafsson. Gustafsson is really reckless, likes to charge, likes to run in. Chaos has, the ability to put him down with a punch. I think if he starts running in trying to charge, there's a chance that he gets laid out. Chaos Williams does have 8 knockouts / TKOs out of his 15 wins, so I like that at plus 190. You parlay those together, it comes out to plus 665. Chaos Williams just a win, also a pretty good plus odds bet, I believe.
Gustafsson.
That
sounds like if I decided to change my name to have a little bit of some swagger. Drop the Pattison, drop the Patta, and add Gustafa.
William Gustafsson. You are a little reckless, just like him.
All right. That'll wrap it up for a Friday edition of The Slate, presented by VIP Play. Good luck to everyone at the table. For John Reed, William Pattison, we'll see